We've got a fireside chat hosted by Sam Biar, the founder of Technology Advisors, our great partner, as well as Terry Schiffer, a Senior Director, Sales Operations and Marketing at Onco 360. Sam, Terry, thank you for joining. How are you today?
Good,
We're doing
thank
great.
you.
All right, that's perfect. I'm gonna jump off from the session myself, but you guys are having a wonderful time, and I will be back in about 20 minutes.
Thank you, Alex. So today I'm here with Terry, one of my longtime friends and customers, and we're going to talk a little bit about how she and Onco 360 are using Creatio. So let's start out really quick. Terry, tell them a little bit about Onco 360 and tell them about what you do for them.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sam. So my name is Terry Schiffer, and I am the Senior Director of Sales Operations and Marketing, as Sam said, for Onco 360. I've been working in sales operations for specialty pharmacy since 2006, and I've known Sam since way back then, but I've been specifically at Onco 360 since 2014. What Onco 360 is we're a specialty pharmacy whose focus is on caring for cancer patients throughout their cancer journey. We dispense medications as a cancer patient is prescribed by their oncologist or hematologist. We're based out of Louisville, Kentucky, but we really have a sales team and an entire workforce that's located really throughout the entire U.S. So that's a little bit about who we are, Sam.
Great. Terry, for the audience, what Creatio solutions are you using today?
So we started using Creatio in February of 2018, and at that point we were using just the sales component. We've since added the marketing component, and just recently in the past few months, we've started building out the service component as well. So, we continue to evolve Creatio to work for us and to really enhance what we're doing within our company as a whole.
Well, I know we moved you to Creatio because of a bunch of problems you had with your old CRM. We won't say who that is, but everyone could probably guess at some point. And the first real issue you had was with security in the old CRM. Primarily, they did not have Windows authentication in the cloud, nor did they have single sign-on capabilities. Can you explain why that is so important, security for Onco?
Absolutely. So single sign-on is really important for us for a variety of reasons. But first and foremost is, as a pharmacy, we have a lot of rules and regulations we need to follow for being HIPAA compliant and to protecting patient information. And so having a system that allows us access to Active Directory to control is really important for us from an IT perspective. So, that single sign-on allows us to have control over who has access to our system, what they're accessing. It gives us tighter controls around password compliance and character requirements, when and how often our passwords need to be updated, and all that stuff. Again, just because of the industry we're in, it's incredibly important for us. And then you look at it, Sam, from an end user perspective. To manage a lot of systems and a lot of different usernames and passwords, it can be really cumbersome. And so for our reps, we found that, it's really helpful that they're able to manage one username, one password, and it controls, everything that they do. And so, that has enhanced the end user experience as well.
Well, even though we love doing a ton of work for you, one of your other key issues was the fact that every time you had to do a little change, you had to call my team up to do the change. And now that you're using Creatio with all their business processes, workflows, low code, how has that been a game changer for you?
So it's been a huge game changer. And yes, Sam, we do love your team. And we do still pick their brains, at times, but really it's come down to that, right? It's we're picking their brains. We're not really having to have them do the development work for us. So I said earlier, we just started using the service component of Creatio. So with that being low code, we were able to really get it up and running very quickly. How we're using it is where we have an outside portal where our customers log into the portal, and we're using the service component to create cases. It ties everything together, and you look at that low code that it gives us and gave us quickly the ability to implement emails that are triggered out to our clients. It has given us the ability to take those cases internally and have our own team be alerted whenever they own, a case has been assigned to them or there's something that they need to do. Plus, tying everything together gives our sales reps the opportunity to see what's going on with their particular client that we're helping. So, that low code, just that one little change that we were able to do over the last month has been a game changer. It's not also getting on someone else's schedule, right? And when can you fit us in? We can turn things around and bring things to life a lot faster than historically we would have been able to do. And the cost, right? The cost associated with that. We're not, dipping into our budget, using hours and things like that from a development perspective, because we're just paying our own employees to do it in-house.
And does that really, give you the ability to add more employees, from a budget perspective and things like that? Does that help there?
Well, yeah. So we have employees now that just their sole focus is to kind of build out Creatio for us, but it's a lower cost employee as well. We don't have to rely on an IT employee or someone that is really great in writing SQL and all the languages that you need to have in development. We're able to do that ourselves with a lower cost employee, which has enabled us to make more changes and get things up and running pretty quickly. So it's been a win-win for us for sure.
Yep. Well, we also know one of the big problems you had was upgrades and downtimes with the other CRM, as we'll call it. There was always a issue because they did not include automated updates. And we would have to schedule at least once a year a period where we were doing an upgrade for you, which obviously cost you money. And then you had to go through and do testing. And then we had to cut you over to the new system, and there was always a disruption. So we know with Creatio, the upgrades happen automatically and they actually happen more frequently. So how has this sort of affected your team's productivity and stability of your CRM experience?
Well, and that's a great point, Sam, because the upgrade process is really seamless from our standpoint. We're upgrading for, a bug fix or there's an enhancement to the product, and it happens really frequently. It's not something we're sitting around waiting and saying, okay, do we need to make this upgrade? And we're hesitant about it because we're going to have that downtime and there's going to be a cost associated. And is it really fixing things? We don't have those worries or concerns anymore. Our end users normally don't even realize that the system's been upgraded unless it's that there's a new feature or a new benefit that we're training them on. And then from a development standpoint, it's just refreshing to know that we're in a tool that continues to evolve rapidly. And so those upgrades are happening and, really behind the scenes without anybody losing sleep over it and being concerned that, oh, something's going to break. It just doesn't happen like that anymore. So it's been a really big benefit for us.
And I know the other big challenge you had was in marketing, because the emails for the other system, they really didn't have a marketing module, nor did they have a mechanism of sending bulk emails. So emails were always coming through your own server, and it always risked you of being blackballed and blacklisted rather, and marked as a spammer. So how has Creatio marketing been a game changer for you since you've implemented it?
So it's been a huge win for us. Bulk email has enabled us to make outreach to our current prescribers and their offices so much more timely than historically, where we had to have all of our sales reps individually doing emails and using Outlook to send an email. And it's totally a game changer. So, we are able to set up a marketing campaign, and our outreach time to our clients has been, I'd say, cut in at least half the time that it takes for us to get a message out to our prescriber offices. In addition to that, having the statistics to show the click-throughs and who opens our emails, really it helps our sales reps to be better educated when they're engaging with their prescriber offices. They have a better understanding of what their clients have seen before they even get in there and they start having a conversation, because they're able to say, hey, they've opened this email. We know, what they are aware of, if there's a change that's taken place, or we have access to a new drug that's come through the marketplace. It just gives them a lot more understanding. And it ensures that we're hitting all of our targets, right? So it's not just hit and miss. And, we're taking that out of our sales reps' hands. Marketing automation is simple. It's easy to set up the campaigns. And it really has worked very efficiently for us and helped us tremendously get the message out on who we are, what we're doing, and whatever the message is that we're trying to convey.
Yeah, we see this at a lot of our customers, that the marketing, what's really nice about it is marketing and sales now work together. They're not islands like they used to be, where you'd have salespeople doing one thing and marketing doing something completely different. And the combination of combining both of those systems has been really powerful for almost all our customers. And that's just a great win for everybody.
Yeah, and it helps you too, Sam, from having to invest in an outside product, right? Most of the other CRMs, you're investing in a secondary product to help you with that marketing automation and doing those campaigns. And this being built in just takes that out of the mix. And so again, from a cost perspective, it does definitely make a difference.
Well, and it simplifies it too, because all these other CRMs require you to actually integrate. So all you're doing is moving contacts back and forth between your marketing and your CRM solution, and having one system just makes it a lot easier for everybody and reduces the probability or chance of error at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So what advice would you give other pharmacy companies that are interested in trying low-code automation?
Yeah, so I mean, I would tell you to, really, it's not, was a simple solution for us. It made sense. It, took care of all of our needs. I would highly recommend it. Going to a low code that we are able to do a lot of the changes in house, not having a developer on staff, not having to outsource development dollars. It just has been really successful for us. And again, the speed of how quickly we're able to bring a change to life is enormous. Our industry changes, and anybody in the pharma world knows how quickly the industry changes and how often you're needing to tweak something, or there's a new rule or regulation that we need to make sure we're, protecting our data. It just gives us so much more flexibility than what we had with our other systems. And this is my fourth different CRM, and throughout my career, and it's just been a really helpful tool for us to use. The cost savings, again, associated with it, it allows you to bring other resources on that can do other things to help your business to grow, versus having to spend all those resources, whether it's people resources or financial resources, on developing your CRM tool. So I would highly recommend it, and I think it, would definitely help anybody who was considering making the move over. It would be a good move.
Well, we have one question in the chat right now, and it is, does the pharma industry face any unique challenges?
So I think the pharma industry always faces unique challenges, and a lot of our the data that we have in the systems, we have to be very protective of that data to ensure that we're meeting all government regulations for CMS and things like that. And that's really the biggest thing, is security, right? The security of the system was enormous for us, and so this system takes care of that. Having that single sign-on, that integration with Active Directory, really handles all of that from that perspective.
Well, the great thing about any medical industry is that the regulations seem to change a lot. and you don't have a lot of lead time before you have to react to them. So I know low code makes that a little bit easier. We have another question in the chat. Did employees immediately accept the fact that were migrating from your old system to Creatio?
In our case, yes, and only because our old system was really a challenge for us and for our team. So in that case, absolutely. It's a really fairly simple system to use. It's easy to customize to make it work for your team. And so I think that was a big part of how we even designed it. We brought some of our end users into the process of designing the system before we made the switch to ensure that we were really meeting the needs of all of our users. And they appreciated that, knowing that we were coming at this from a sales perspective, since they're our biggest users of the CRM. And so having their thoughts and feedback in the development stage was really helpful to us, and helped to drive user engagement, because they were then another voice speaking for, hey, look at this is a great new tool. But again, we were in a really challenging to use CRM for sure, and so this made a difference.
Well, Terry, I just want to thank you for joining me and Creatio and doing this little interview. I think it's really important for other companies to hear about successful organizations that are using CRM.
Well, thanks, Sam, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today on Creatio and how useful it really has become for us.
Thank you.